Choosing Beggar cancels professional photographer for cheap photos, regrets it, and demands free photos from professional. Well, if I haven't heard this one before, welcome. If you're new here, if you're a photographer, you're not, because it's like the same old story time and time again. They don't want to pay what you're asking them to, so they go to someone cheaper, and then they get bad photos, and then they come back like, hey, my wedding is ruined. These are in JPEG, so what are we gonna do here? Yeah, I've shot a lot of weddings, and I already know how this is gonna end. Like, should we even read it? I'll just make up a story and it'll probably be very accurate. Client booked me for a wedding at $3,200. This is full package with engagement session, boudoir shoots, engagement party or bachelorette party, and full day coverage up to 10 hours. Well, that's a lot actually that she's including in there. Some people charge more than $3,200 just for the day of the wedding. So the fact that, this is an engagement session, boudoir shoots, engagement party, that's pretty much a deal. That's pretty good. She found someone who was only charging her $50 for wedding photos and ended up canceling after paying the deposit, understanding that her deposit was non-refundable as it says on her ticket and contract. Okay, hold on one second. She found someone who was only charging $50. I don't believe it. I think you invited someone to your wedding, because this does not sound like a wedding photographer who's like professional and serious about this. $50? No, I think you straight up invited a wedding guest. At $50, there's no one showing up with the camera. That's like if you went into a car dealership and they're like, yeah, this car's $25 only. Brand new. Are you interested? You would think something's going on here. Does this car even turn on? Is it a car? Is it a cake? Because I've seen that show. Is it cake or is it something like, right? They have to bite into things and then you have to guess if it's cake or not. Could be that situation. I had viewed the other photographer's work when she told me the name during cancellation. She told you. So as she's canceling with you, she's like, so I'm booking this other person. I wish I could be there to hear this conversation. Like, I'm no longer going with you. You're canceled. And we're going with the $50 photographer. Yeah. She's bringing a digital. Yeah, it's a point and shoot. It's great. I heard it's the newest thing, honestly. I'm very excited. I had viewed the other photographer's work when she told me the name during cancellation and could tell it was someone who was either using a phone or just starting in the industry. I assumed since the client was canceling me that she had already done her research and decided that was the kind of photos that she wanted, so I didn't say anything. I mean, she canceled with you. There's not much more to say. She decided to go with someone else. You couldn't even do like $75? Why $50? I need to know why. Fast forward to today, a week after her wedding, she sent me a very long message about how cruel it was that I didn't stop her from switching photographers, and how unhappy she was with her wedding photos, and how I now owe her a newlywed session to make up for my mistake. What? How is that your responsibility? Did you become her financial advisor? I don't understand why that would be the original photographer's responsibility. The client decided to switch for something cheaper, like for gas money. She's trying to make use of that money that was not refunded to her from the deposit. She's like, hey, I'm not going to admit I was wrong and I should have went with you. I'm going to blame you. And also, I want you to work now for what you should have worked for the actual wedding that I canceled on you for. Is that still okay? But also, it is your fault. And you ruined my wedding. Why are we responsible for our clients' choices? We're not. Like, you wanted to go with somebody else. You got to do the research. She's right. You have to do your research. When it comes to photographers, you're booking a photographer based on so many things. Not only their work, but their reputation. How long before you get your pictures back? How many photos do you get? How much do they retouch the photos? These are all things you have to consider when booking a photographer. So she goes on to say, I have not responded to this client yet, as I really don't know the proper way to respond to something like this. She says, I never have had someone message me saying anything like this out of the blue. The bride would be better off approaching the photographer that she canceled on and saying, you know what? I made a mistake. I know I paid you the deposit. It was non-refundable. Is it possible we can just even do a couple session photo shoot? Would that be okay? And I'm pretty sure the photographer would be okay with that. There's no responsibility on the photographer to be more involved than just, okay, I was hired to do a photography job and now I'm not hired. So, but okay, I guess this is over. What we got going on. It was good while it lasted. A lot of people who cut corners trying to save money on photography, I'm talking thousands of dollars. Like they only want to spend $100 maybe or $200. They usually end up with pictures they don't like. And then they go through all the stress and the hassle of trying to rebook with another photographer or going to court with the first photographer they worked with and trying to get their money back or trying to salvage photos. And they regret their decision and they're upset over it. You can't redo a wedding, okay? You really can't redo the moments that happen, the memories. You're just better off paying what a photographer is worth to make sure that you get the best photos possible. And it is worth it every single time. Literally been a week after the wedding, she's already trying to do a newlywed session. She's like, I didn't get pictures of my wedding after my wedding with the $50 wedding photographer. This is not what I had hoped. Let's read the comments. That's going to tell us all we need to know. That's not even a beggar. That's just, I'm not happy because I didn't get what I wanted. And it has to be someone's fault. It couldn't possibly be mine. Yeah, I feel like we're regretting our choices and now we're trying to blame others. That's what's happening here. They're like, I can't take responsibility for this. So hello, how are you? Welcome to the responsibility. You're new here. You must be new. I'm all for being frugal and saving money, but there's no reasonable photography service that would cover your entire wedding for $50. The bride's best bet is to ask guests to share their pictures and hope there's some gems in whatever she receives. It's a shitty way to learn that lesson, but I hope they're able to find some nice pictures somehow. There's no professional photographer that's done a photo shoot or even a wedding and is like, you know what? I'll do for $50. Yeah. I totally understand. Not all of us have thousands of dollars to put towards photography. So if you're on a budget, you guys simply ask the photographer that you want to work with. Be like, hey, I love your work. I have a budget. Is there a way that we can work together? Maybe you can take out like certain things in a package. Because I would definitely do that for my clients. And I have done that before. I'm shocked that someone who was willing to splurge over $3,000 on a photographer went for a $50 package without doing any research whatsoever. You're under no obligation to waste your time basically consulting and advising them. That's their own problem. I would just ignore and they'll go away. That's not someone you want to get involved with again for other shoots. It's kind of crazy that she went from, okay, I'll spend $3,000 to, okay, actually, you know what? We're going to do $50. That's right. But she didn't get the deposit back. You already invested in the $3,000 photographer. Should we be doing this? I feel like now we're thinking that this new relationship is going to be better and it's probably not. Be professional. Tell her you will happily do the newlywed shoot. The price is $3,200. That's actually hilarious. I mean, at least we've come full circle at this point. That would be a good business decision. Yeah. You're playing a dangerous game when you hire a photographer based on how much they charge. That's all I'm going to say. And I'm not saying spend thousands of dollars, $10,000, $20,000 on a photographer. I'm saying just value people for their work. Don't try to cut corners when it comes to taking pictures because there's a lot of buttons and there's a reason why we know how to press all of them in the right order at the right time. Many years of batteries and experiences and memory cards. So what do you guys think? Should the photographer have warned this client, hey, she's kind of using an iPhone? Or do you think that the photographer had no responsibility, she got canceled on? It's too late. Leave your thoughts in the comments and I'll see you guys in my next video.